What common knowledge do we all know but is actually wrong? You lose half of your body heat through the top of your head. It's closer to about 7% of your body heat, which just so happens to be the same percentage of your body that the top of your head occupies. That your appendix is useless, it's not. It functions as an auxiliary defense for your digestive system and a reserve of good gut bacteria. It also sometimes gets randomly angry, tries to kill you, and has to be removed. But it's not useless. When you cut a worm in half, you make 2 new ones. This is not true, and you killed a perfectly good worm this year. Heart attacks and cardiac arrest are the same thing. No, it's not, and TV gets it wrong all the time. Also using a defibrillator on a flatline. If there is no electrical activity on the EKG, there is nothing to reset to normal rhythm this year. Touching a baby animal will cause its parents to abandon it. It was really just a way for parents to get kids to not mess with animals. Tilt head back when you were having a nosebleed. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. They actually gave 6 months notice. Schizophrenia is not a multiple personality disorder. Edit. Since some people misunderstand what I mean. Sorry for my bad English. I actually meant that the fact that schizophrenia is a multiple personality disorder is wrong. Sorry. That prawn stars have foot-long cocks. Most of the big ones are actually 7 to 9 inch long and just claim to be 11 to 14. Shout out to our measured prawn stars. That quote from Einstein, Jefferson, Lincoln, or insert cultural icon here likely didn't say that no 2 fingerprints are the same. Bulls are not irritated by red capes. Bulls are, in fact, colorblind. What likely enrages them is the cape movement, or at least that's the theory. IDK if it's world common or just a stupid thing in my country, but dairy products don't go with fish and they'll make you sick. Bull garbage emo. You don't have to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report. In fact, most police recommend you report immediately after the person disappears. The Great Wall of China can be seen from space. I'm just like, it's a wall that's long. Highways are long but we can't see them. Oil is made from dead dinosaurs. Not exactly, it's actually super old and very dead plankton. Germany goes as a pretty green economy, but if you look at per capita in nominal values, it is one of the largest CO2 emitters. Shake a Polaroid picture to get it to develop faster. Don't edit. Shaking too vigorously can cause the chemicals in the photo paper to separate and shift, causing blotches and distortion, while early Polaroid instant photos did dry in contact to the air. The ones we had later on, and the Instax photos we have now, had a protective plastic layer on top to contain the chemicals, so it developed completely without exposure to air. You swallow 8 spiders a year. If you put a chick that's fallen out of its nest back in its nest, then the parents won't think it's theirs. You can pick up a fallen chick and put it back in the nest and the parents will treat it the same as before. That's right. You could have saved that baby bird when you were 6. It could have survived. MSG, monosodium glutamate, causes headaches. If you ask an undercover cop if they're a cop, they have to tell you the truth or anything they find after that is inadmissible in court. The worst thing they could say is no. No, they could emotionally nuke your butt for having the audacity to ask. If they try to write you up at work, don't sign it and it won't count against you. No one tried to write you up. You were written up. You don't just make a write-up go away because you refuse to sign. Jesus looked like a guy from the Middle East, not Norway. That turning the lights on in the car is illegal. I'm sure many of us were told as children that turning the lights on in the car is illegal, or at least I was. I found out only a few months ago that it was actually not illegal at all. You shouldn't go swimming shortly after eating. Actually, the thing you should avoid swimming after is drinking alcohol. Eating carrots makes you able to see in the dark. That was even on a poster in my grade school cafeteria. British propaganda unit. You did an excellent job. I before E except after C. There's actually loads more A words, except when your foreign neighbor Keith receives 8 beige counterfeit sleighs from feisty caffeinated weightlifters. Weird. To take pills more easily. Tilt your head back as you swallow. What actually happens is tightening and elongating your throat, allowing a smaller, shrunken area for the pill to pass through. Doing the opposite, i.e., tilting your head inwards towards your chest, increases the circumference of your throat passage, allowing pills to more easily be swallowed. Raking leaves is good. Good healthy grass is good. Clover is a weed. Remove it. Dandelion is a weed. Remove it. Wrong. 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 All lies. People rake up all their leaves, put them in bags, and then put them at the end of the street to get picked up. Then they go out to the big box store and buy fertilizer for their grass. Because it's dying, it's stupid. You are stupid. It's not your fault. You were lied to. The grass clippings feed the grass. Leaves feed the grass. The grass clippings are a source of nitrogen. You know exactly like the nitrogen fertilizer you are buying at Walmart. The leaves are a source of carbon. Carbon and nitrogen together will compost and make soil, nutrients for your trees, grass to eat. This is kind of what nature has been doing for a billion years before grass companies pulled clover seeds from grass seed mixes, sold you leaf bags, and sold you fertilizer. Nice racket they have going on. It's stupid on the order of paying money to breathe air. If you remove either grass clippings or leaves from your lawn, you are a doofus. If you then spend money on fertilizer, you are an even bigger doofus. Now your grass has no food. Your soil microbiology starts starving and dying. You have nothing alive in your lawn anymore. If you fertilize, you make the situation worse, because nothing learns how to feed itself. Your grass, trees, garden plants don't develop fine root hairs or extensive root systems. Who needs it when that doofus is feeding me? So now you created a system of dependence. It's like those parents that do everything for their kids and wonder why their 20-year-old doesn't know how to do laundry or pay their bills or save money. What did you expect? So what's the right way? Remove your lawn. Okay, that's the correct answer. And it's gaining popularity. But it's still unlikely anyone reading this will actually do that. But understand this. Grass sold its soul to the devil. And when he did, he threw clover under the bus. Clover is labeled a weed and grass isn't. It couldn't be further from the truth. Which one feeds the soil? Which one feeds the bees? So, remove that useless sod lawn and plant a garden and some fruit trees. At the very least, have a clover lawn for the bees, but I don't care about the planet or the bees. And I still want a useless lawn, sigh. Okay. Instead, cut your grass high and leave the clippings. In the fall, mow the leaves, to shred them, and leave them on the lawn. Sow clover back into the lawn, so that you have nitrogen-fixing legume plants again. These plants are in situ fertilizers, as natural and organic as it gets. And they literally pull the nitrogen out of the air and put it in the soil. Why pay for nitrogen fertilizer when the air is mostly nitrogen? Ever think of how stupid that is? And how there's likely a natural system that does that all by itself in some kind of symbiotic relationship. Good news! There is. They're called nitrogen fixers, and one of the nitrogen fixing plants is clover. Just about every balanced ecosystem on the planet has a nitrogen fixer as part of the complex orchestra of diversity. Black locust, beans, peas, peanuts, vetch, autumn olive, sea buckthorn. There are many clovers, so why clover? Clover is perfect for a lawn. It's what you would create if you could sit down with 100 of the brightest minds on the planet and bioengineer the perfect grass companion. It's great for a lawn because it's short. It exists under the grass blades and can survive constant mowing. There are even microclovers if you hate the white flowers that feed the bees. You won't even know it's there, except for the fact that your lawn is actually green. Even more, it has a wide leaf which provides tons of shade to the soil beneath it, protecting soil microbiology from harmful UV light, keeping your soil life alive. Living soil means that when your grass plant puts out exudates to attract life to the roots, to eat the nutrient and make it bioavailable to the plant root. It's actually there and able to. Not only this, but this shading of the ground also prevents noxious weeds from germinating that would otherwise germinate through the perfect filtered sun condition which the thin grass leaves provides. Clover. What an MVP plant. Huh. Also, grass is a heavy nitrogen feeder. So wouldn't it be swell if we paired it up with a plant that creates so much nitrogen that it overflows and spills over into the soil? The Robin to our Batman? Let's do it then. How perfect is this little clover weed? Let's wake up and give some love to the little clover buddy. Let's learn facts before we hate on something so amazing. It's science. Female doggy. Quick aside, I don't like to read anything without learning something new. Learning how something works. It helps provide an anchor to retain information long-term. Monsieur, I'm going to force that way of life on you now. Here's one paragraph on how these plants actually work. Let's nerd out and learn something new today. Clover provides nitrogen by a symbiotic relationship with bacteria who take the nitrogen and store it in clusters in the root system. Monsieur, then when you mow the lawn and cut the clover plants do their thing. There is an imbalance in below ground and above ground mass, so they even it out. They do this two ways, growing more on top. This is why cutting your lawn rejuvenates it, because it simulates animal grazing and stimulates regrowth. The second way they equate the upper, below ground imbalance is by shedding root mass below ground. When it does this, not only does it add organic matter to your soil for the microorganisms to eat, but it also separates those fertilizer nitrogen clusters. These then get released into the soil. So, cutting clover is like direct fertilizing underground, and it feeds everything around it. But that's not all that happens when you run your land like this. You save money too. Water. You now have higher organic material content in your soil, which holds water. Rain doesn't sheet across your land as much but instead soaks in. Now you are not only fertilizing less, but also watering less, and your grass is greener. You aren't carting away your land's fertility and spending money and doing work and diesel to do so. It rains and the next day your neighbor is out mowing his dry grass. His grass goes wet, dry, wet, dry. Yours has organic material in it, and it rains once a week and you are just peachy. Yours goes wet, moist, 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 slightly less moist, etc. Even better, replace that lawn with some gardens. Mulch deep with wood chips, 6 to 8 inches. Feed that fungus, the fungus among us that feeds and holds the whole world together. The MVP of the planet. Prevent evaporation of water. Store water in the land, not on the land. Build organic matter in your soil and you can't go wrong. Build food for you in nature, and let life back in. Stop buying cookie cutter cut and paste neighborhoods with nothing but ornamentals and sod grass. Food for nothing. Build food, flowers, clover, fruit bushes and trees. Invite life back into your life. Invite wilderness. We evolved in the forests. Life is in the forest. Return to the forest. Keep your leaves. Plant more trees. Get food off your land, and not just a useless lawn. Your wallet will thank you. The planet will thank you. Save yourself thousands of dollars by planting a $30 apple tree. That $2 end-of-season raspberry cane at the nursery auction or Home Depot clearance shelves will produce $50 of fruit next year alone, and it will replicate itself for free. Edit. Since this took off a bit, if anyone loves this stuff, enjoys saving the planet, the bees, the way we do it is by decentralizing the food chain, eating healthier, sequestering carbon, and all those are done the same way. Plant trees. Food on trees. This is a massive passion of mine, and I've started a YouTube channel. But first check out guys like Edible Acres, https www.youtube.com/channel/chutchink4083wakefcuathawhq. Sean is out of NY and is just simply an amazing human. There is of course Jeff Lawton, https www.youtube.com/channel/UCL_R1Elevano. One of the most famous permaculturists alive, fellow mechanical engineer and all-around awesome guy. Last, here, https www.youtube.com/channel/UCFSO09F_ESUBS1Chen4WDW is my fledgling channel. This video talks about plant guilds. https www.youtube.com/watch v=rpxfiagpmsc and how to go beyond a fruit tree and make a food forest. Together we can save the planet and eat some rad food and build communities of barter and connection. All by planting fruit trees. editx2. I have to go to bed now. Work in the morning. I tried to answer all my PMs and replies. I will try to get the rest of you in the morning. Instead of more gildings, use that money to plant trees for me on your lawn. Mulch it though.